K, can we hear
Yes,
you?
yes, I can hear you. Is my voice coming out normal?
Yeah, you almost sound a little like Magic Kingdom, Daffy Duck, almost. Mini-Me, almost. All right, so let me see. So this is pretty wild because what's happening tonight is it's asking me to admit people who are in the waiting room, which we've never done before. So I'm gonna go back and forth a little bit. And what we'll do here is this. Oh, look at that. This Centers of America shirt in Amarillo, Texas, brother. How cool is that? Hook 'em horns, baby. Look at that. Who has more fun than us doing this? Nobody, only in the sense that we don't do this a lot. As a matter of fact, it's been a year since we've done this. A year. Oh, I got to let this doctor in. Holy cow. So this is weird because it's asking me to admit people. So the waiting room builds up. Welcome, Dr. Daniel. Great to see you, brother, in Danville, Virginia. And so this is really cool. So who do we have with us tonight? Before we get, so obviously you know how this works. We're gonna give it a minute, 2, maybe 3. The room will fill up. Then we're gonna hit the ground running and we'll make this great for Dr. Jenny Sherwood. That's my goal, is to, how much fun are you? So to make this great for Dr. Jenny Sherwood, yes. I guess you have to be prime time if you come up on my big board, right? If you come up at the top, that means you're special. And in the Purple Dinosaur world, Barney says, you're special. But, you know, that's going back a long time ago, right? Because he said the magic words are what? 2 words. Please and what? Ooh, thank you. You're good. You are good. So let me see. I'm just as crazy. Can everybody see what I'm looking at here? Because people keep coming. I have to keep admitting them. And that's why the room keeps building up. So that's never happened before. But Dr. Collins, welcome to the show, baby, in Naples, Florida. So this is really interesting because as we go through this, what do I see? I see Naples, Florida. I see St. Augustine. Hey, Dr. Foster, welcome to the party, brother. So happy you're part of the family. You're a great story. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about you tonight. And who else do we see here? Oh, Dr. Hong. Wow. Metairie Gretna. Thank you. Way too kind. You didn't have to say that yesterday. That's a big word. Genius. No, I'm not. The genius is the other guy. That's the other guy who's talking. Dr. Petrucci, wow. LaGrange, Kentucky. And as we go through this, Dr. Huddleston, all the best, brother, in Mississippi. Now you might wonder, you say, wait a minute, what's going on here? How does he know all these doctors? Well, the reason we know all these doctors is because these doctors are concierge coaches doctors. So they, even though they get front of the line access, even though they get boot camps, they get unlimited trainings, they get all the content, the protocols, the systems, the financials, the tools, they get all that stuff. They always know that when Dr. Kaplan and I get together, something very cool happens. And what happens is there's a light bulb that goes off. And that light bulb, I will promise you, will go off tonight for many of you. And the reason I say many of you and not all of you is because some of you are going to walk away from this and I'm going to tell you exactly what you're going to do. I will tell you exactly what will happen. You're going to sit here tonight and you're going to watch this and you're going to say, holy cow, that was a great idea. And then you're going to sit here and go, wait a minute, that's an amazing thing. I had no clue that existed. And then you're going to say, you know what? I got to do that. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to do that. I'm going to start implementing that. I'm going to start doing that. And you know what happens? You get bombarded by distraction. You get bombarded by noise. You freeze. You become paralyzed. You don't move left. You don't move right. You stay in the same place, and that's not a good thing. Now, the good news is this. Fortunately, that's a very small percentage of you. The larger percentage of you get the big idea. And here's the big idea. You will walk away tonight with one thing. There will be something that Dr. Kaplan will say tonight, which will make the light bulb go off for you. There will be something that I say tonight that will make the light bulb go off for you. There may be something that you see. There may be something that basically is the big domino for you. And we know this. We know if we can get the big domino to fall, well, then guess what happens? all the other dominoes will fall in place. So in other words, there's an order to success. In other words, if you do this first, and you do this second, and you do this third, an amazing thing happens. You know what happens? You get busier. You treat more patients. You get better results. You're able to raise your celebrity and your profile and your authority, and you're basically, you become the go-to doctor in your market. That's the purpose of tonight. That's the purpose of Thursday Night Live. If I seem a little juiced and a little excited, I am. You know why? It's been a year. A year. We have not done. Now, here's a crazy thing, and then we're going to go into this. It's very funny. So Dr. Kaplan had this great idea during COVID, and he said, you know what? All these people want to get on a plane. They all want to come to trainings, and they did come, which is a crazy thing. But there's so many people sitting at home that don't know what to do. They don't know whether to move left, move right. They don't know whether to even go to their practice. They don't know what to do. So we're going to do something called Thursday Night Live, and we're going to share real deal content. Now, a crazy thing happened. We did it one week, and then we said, you know, it was so cool. Let's do it a second week. And the numbers went up. Then we did it a third week. Then the numbers went up. Then we did it a fourth week. The numbers went up. It became, for lack of a better word, you ready for this? It became viral. Now, do you remember when viral was a good word? Right? Right? You would say, oh no, his marketing, it's crazy. His Snapchat, his Facebook, his website, his Instagram, his email marketing, everything he's doing is so viral. It's so ridiculous that he's got a waiting list practice, and he's charging $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a case. So now I'm starting to think, wow, that's a multi-million-dollar practice. We're going to talk about that tonight. So I have a feeling the viral world will come back in a better way, right? You remember. So the reality was this. Because of the popularity of a special training that we do, it's called the Chiro event. You'll learn a little bit about it tonight. That in lieu of doing Thursday Night Live, we actually did Saturday afternoon live, and we did it with doctors who really got the big idea and said, you know what? If they're giving this stuff away online for free, and as a result of coming to these Thursday night things, and they're dropping these golden nugget bombs, holy cow, can you imagine for 1 second what they do if you're sitting there face to face, eye to eye, one to one, and heart to heart? That's pretty cool stuff, right? Now, where does that come from? It comes from the simple fact that every single one of your patients that you are in PTC with. What's PTC? Present time consciousness. That means the world can end. The world can end. But it doesn't make a difference because it's just you and your patient. And that's all they care about, and that's all you should care about. So being in PTC is really where it's at. And to be in PTC, what do you have to do with your patients? You got to be one-to-one, eye to eye, right? You got to look them in the eye. They got to look you in the eye. You got to be heart to heart. You got to be able to ask better questions. You got to be able to get better answers. And then you can provide a better consultation to know, do you need an MRI? Do you need more diagnostic tests? Is there a potential disc problem going on? Because tonight, we're going to talk about disc. And we're going to talk about disc with the person that, I don't want to say you wrote the book, but I'm going to tell you, he wrote the book. He wrote the book. Now you say, wait a minute, is there a book on spinal decompression? Yes, there is. So my question would be, gee, if there's a book on spinal decompression, how many pages is it? It's 1,000 pages. It's like that big, right? It's like huge. It's big. The person that wrote that book is really, really the brain trust of, in essence, I'm going to call it something I've never called it before. You ready for this? I hope you're sitting down for this. Are you sitting down? If you're not sitting down, stand up. Now sit down. See, there we go. I'm going to call it the disc movement. I will tell you that Dr. Kaplan is the torch carrier. When you watch the Olympics this weekend and you see that guy coming in tomorrow night lighting the torch, I want you to think of someone. I want you to think of Dr. Kaplan, because trust me when I tell you, since 2012, has it been that long? Yeah, 2012, when he created the National Spinal Decompression Certification Program, one time per year, 12 CEUs. sold out last year, sold out this year, crazy, crazy. But the fact is this, there's nobody on the planet that brings a better A game and brings more tools, more content, more research, more clinical data, and more factual evidence to make you bigger, better, stronger, faster. Kind of sounds like the $6 Million Man. Now you know how old I am. But what if I told you this? What if I told you that there are doctors? I hope you're sitting down for this one. There are doctors on this with you right now, that are putting up those kind of numbers. And we'll share it with you here today, tonight. Is that fair? If that's fair, say yes. Move your head up and down. Oh, you guys are awesome. Let me see it. Let's go. Bobblehead City. Let's go. Come on. I got to see more bobbleheads. If I see more bobbleheads, there we go. There we go. It's like a movement. You see, it's like a disc movement. So let's bring him in, because the fact is that he's going to share some pretty awesome stuff with you. And we're going to ping pong it a little bit and have some fun. So let's make sure that we can bring him in here. There you go. Can everybody see him? Dr. K, can you hear me?
Vaguely.
I'll turn up the volume.
Only the parts where you weren't talking about me. I heard everything but when you were talking about me.
Yeah. So we have so much fun. So I can listen to you all night. So, you know, I would love to hear some golden wisdom on the first and only Thursday Night Live. There are no other ones scheduled or planned. So you came at a good time, doctors. As a matter of fact, you came at a great time. So all yours, my brother.
Well, you know, I'm going to start off with some of the basics. Okay, Perry? And you know I'm very big on acronyms. And I see a lot of the people out there that I know. I mean, listen, I went to college with Scotty Banks, and what an honor to work with Scotty, who's probably one of the key technicians in the entire state of New York. I mean, you know, Scotty wrote a book, I think, Natural Health for Dummies. I mean, we have the best of the best. And if there's any compliment you've ever given me that I truly take to heart is when you talked about the disc movement, right? And I'll tell you why. Disc was dead. Decompression was dead. Axiom Worldwide, they got into trouble. They said that the technology was developed by NASA. They said it was FDA approved. They did everything that was like wrong. They brought in Altadonna. Altadonna lied. Altadonna sued. I even think he went to jail. I don't even know what happened, but we took an industry. You know, if we as chiropractors, doctors, I want you to face the facts here. If we as chiropractors don't accept and aren't the best in the world in back pain, then what the hell are you doing? And I see that my son is here. Let me tell you something. Why am I still working at 69 years old? I'm the former president of Nutrisystem, right? I like food. Why am I here? Not because of you, Eli. And by the way, Eli, if I don't get something done with you, I'm raising your price. I just want you to know that that's your theme of this meeting. I'm going up on you. Now, with that said, I told my son, I'll say to everybody, chiropractic is a great profession. It's a difficult business. And if we don't master back problems, and if we don't master all these things, then we have failed as a profession. And decompression was dead, Perry. It was gone. Axiom buried it, you know, and then you had people like Chattanooga. Okay, $12,000 table. Okay, show me the research. Norman Shealy, MD, who graduated Harvard, Duke Medical School, who endorsed Perry, you and I, who endorsed concierge coaches, who said, I hand you the torch. We're gonna honor him at the certification program. We spoke to him in detail. He's been a mentor to me for years. And he said, you know what? When I did my first neurosurgery, when I did my first operation, I said, you know what? This will not work. So here's a guy from Harvard University, right? Who now is talking about sacral subluxation, sacral shearing. And he's telling us about this. And he says, and the medical world doesn't get it. A Harvard neurosurgeon. Yet you have chiropractors, they don't even know what it is. If I go to eBay and I see decompression tables for sale, ask yourself this question. Did the table fail or did the doctor fail to understand the table? Did the doctor fail to communicate? Did the doctor fail to understand what it is? And I'll tell you what the difference is. The difference is, if you want to know what the difference between the chiropractic profession and the medical profession is, it's one word, Perry. It's fear. Fear. Chiropractors hate to be rejected. They hate rejection. Well, you know what? Men and ladies, grow up, get over it. You know, an MD, I can imagine going to my medical doctor, an orthopedic surgeon, and say, well, I don't know if I want you to take my blood pressure today. Or, how much does the MRI cost? Or, I don't know if I can afford this. An orthopedic would say, get out of my office. What are you doing here? You know what, doctors? That's why, you know, I said after doing the state of South Carolina, I retired from doing state associations. I'm telling you why. Doctors, you know what? And I say this, men and women, and please don't take anything I say personally. Please don't. But I hate what they treat, how they treat the doctors. Hey, Jen, no kissing on this. This is, come on. I'm getting very excited here. Come on, that was, no porn on Thursday Night Live. But I didn't like the way doctors are treated. They can't, you're locked in a room. You can't leave the room. They don't want to do this. And they sit there and they look like peasants. They act like peasants and they're treated like peasants. Yes, I've been in continuing education at Harvard University. I was a guest of one of the instructors from Harvard Medical School. And the doctors come in, they wear suit and ties. They look like doctors. They act like doctors, and they're treated like doctors. And you know what I'm saying to you, doctors? It's time for you to stand up, but take a position of who you are. So here's a word I'm going to want to leave you with today. Perry loves when I leave you with words. My word today is what? Simple word, what? What do you want? What do you want tonight? What do you want tomorrow? What do you want for your practice? What are you going to do to make a difference? What? And if you break it down to an acronym, let's go for the W. The W again is, what do you want? Why should they pay you? Why are you here tonight? Let's go to the H. How can I help you? You're a healer. H, healer. Heal people. Do you know that back pain is $1 trillion industry? We can look at the study from Dr. Bieber, Dr. B-A-B-E-R. Now, hold on. Is this guy from Sherman? No. John Hopkins Medical School. And you know what he's saying? Failed back surgery syndrome is real. Well, hold on. When I graduated in 1978, I tell people all the time, I was called quack so many times. I had to see, I had to stand in front of the mirror naked and see that I didn't have feathers. And now you have MDs saying that it doesn't work. Now, can I go on with that? I can go to Dr. Dio from Washington University. Washington State University did a study and said, failed back surgery doesn't work. What about we want to go to New York, Dr. Young? I can give you doctor after doctor of their own thing. So the H stands for healing. Doctors, you're a healer. You want help? Help yourself. Help the patient. What do you want? How are you going to help your patients? How are you going to heal your patients? And do you hear them when they're crying out to you with severe back pain? The A, are you ready for success? Are you ready to accept rejection? Because you know what? Why do some people succeed and others don't? It's very simple. It's you. You don't communicate well enough. You're not confident well enough. You're not willing to accept the rejection that comes. Listen, if I ever gave a report of findings and somebody said, I'll think about it. Well, hold on. What's there to think about? Unless you're a salesman. You see, the problem with our profession, and I'm going to tell you, I've studied under them all. And one of the great teachers of our profession, one of the best businessmen of our profession was James Parker. I mean, listen, you're not a schmuck if you have a university named after you. You know, I mean, obviously, but he was the first one to talk to business. And he said 3 times a week, twice a week, once a week. I had an Uncle Al Brenner. My Uncle Al graduated in 1920, right? Perry, 1920. And guess what? He couldn't make it in the business. Why? Because people in those days were paying $2, $3, $4 for an adjustment. I remember doctors from the old early DE movement would put a box on the wall. Are you kidding? Listen, why don't you just get a violin, go to 42nd Street, and like hang out and say, oh, will you give me some money? I need some help. I mean, you know, and this is what we did. And then Sid Williams, you know, who I respected, would say you need to have your business hand and you need to have your doctor hand. But you know what I'm telling you? These hands need to come together. They need to come together. You know what excited me today, Perry? And then I'll let you talk a little bit, and I'll go on and on because, you know, it's all, what about you? What do you want from me? But what I want from you doctors is I want you to be better doctors. I want you to accept your responsibility. I want you to realize, and that's what the T is for, the time is now. There has never been a better time for chiropractic than there is now. I mean, why? Because you have guys from Johns Hopkins University saying failed back surgery syndrome is real. Heck, Tiger Woods has had has had 5 back surgeries. And a doctor will call up and he said, well, you know, I've already done my 3rd visit on the patient and they're not getting well. Let me tell you something. I call that the Harvey Lillis syndrome. They're not going to get well. If you go through the studies from the Leslie study, the Bergmeyer study, they're all going to tell you it takes 6 to 8 weeks. Why do we create cycles and products? What we do, Perry, probably better than anybody in the history of this profession, is we provide a presentation and a packaging package based upon medical research that nobody's ever seen before. And that's the difference of why some people are succeeding and why other people are failing, because they don't know how to handle the patient and they don't know how to handle rejection. Matter of fact, at the boot camp, Perry, one of the things that we do, you know this, you won't let them eat lunch. You're very tough, tougher than I am. People think I'm tough. No, I'm not. Perry's tougher because he won't let you eat lunch until we can handle all the rejections. And you know what? Because doctors, we need to understand that there is rejection. But you know what? Why, doctors, would you walk into a report of findings and be afraid to assess your fees? Why would you want to do this? And what do you want? Let me tell you what I want. I want chiropractors to be the leaders in the back world. What do I want? I want Eli Goldstein to stop bullshitting and to step up to the plate. What do I want? Listen, when I see, like today, give you an example. I got emails. Roger Wong. You guys, anyone out there that's not a client, call him up. Roger never did decompression before. Never. Matter of fact, his father's an OB-GYN guy. Right, Perry? And the father called me up because I said, well, you need to get a decompression table because he couldn't even afford to pay his rent. Now, he was very lucky that a lot of you people didn't have. His father was his landlord. So how embarrassing is it he couldn't pay the rent? Roger, you know what I'm saying to you. Now, imagine this. He calls me, he sends me a text today. He had an $18,000 day. Now, you can say, $18,000, no insurance. Now, that could be, for Roger, 3 to 4 decompression cases. Not a lot. But Roger's to the point now, he is so confident in what he does, he will not accept rejection. He won't accept it, Barry. What do you feel about? Then I have a guy like Dr. Kern, who we also got texts from today. You know this. And Dr. Kern couldn't afford, money was tough. He couldn't afford a table when he initially came on. Sound like you, Tom Collins? He couldn't afford a table when he originally came on. And then now today, he just ordered his 4th table. I mean, it's unbelievable. So I say to you doctors that if you're a guest today, you know, how many tables do you have? If you have one, you're playing at decompression. You don't get it. You have a table. I'm very proud of you. But are you dominating the disc business? And that's what, Perry, I believe, you know, and I'm hoping, you know, when people will recognize, because we get so many calls now, Perry. You know, we get so many calls from people. Listen, old chiropractic consulting is dead. If you have coaches, you know what? What are they giving you? A consultation, examination, report of findings. Listen, how many times can you have to learn how to do a consultation, an examination report? If you can't do that after a year, if you can't do that after being an intern, what the hell are you doing in this business? What? Because the key word is what? What do you want and what are you willing to do? Take over, PB.
So, what if I told you we're just getting started? We're just warming up. We're just getting ready to do something we've never done before. Now, what if I told you this? What if I told you would it be okay? Would it be okay? Because I always think it's cool to ask for approval. I do this with my patients all the time. Would it be okay? Would it be okay? See, if you really want to know the secret to winning as a chiropractor, it's really simple. And that is, if you can answer questions ahead of the patient asking them, you will win. Why will you win? Because the patient will win. If you can use bridgers, what I call bridge lines, in other words, that's a bridge. In other words, would it be okay? I do that all the time. I would say in my practice, I must say this 50 times a day. Is it fair? Would that be fair? Would this be okay? Because I'm not taking a step forward until I get approval. Just how it is. This way the patient understands I'm in PTC. I'm one-to-one, eye-to-eye, heart-to-heart with that patient. That patient knows I'm digging them. The world can end. I am with that patient because the fact is that if I don't accept that patient, and you know what I'm talking about, I can go through it, Dr. Brodkin, Dr. West, Dr. Brodkin in Boca, West, Dr. West in Amarillo, Dr. Swalinski in Henderson, Nevada, Dr. Collins in Naples. I can go through the list on and on again. St. Augustine, Danville, Virginia, all of our family here, Bettendorf, Iowa, Metairie, Gretna, Mississippi, LaGrange. This is our family's here tonight. So we're going to bring the gold tonight, baby. Wyoming. Ooh, how cool is Wyoming? Dr. Shane, you're awesome. Dr. Viscusi, Napa Valley, brother, welcome to the party. Go on and on. It's so cool. And you know what I'm loving tonight? You know what I'm really loving? Ask me what I'm loving. I'm so glad you asked that. I'm loving Dr. Scott Banks in his tank top tonight. I didn't know he was so buff. That's why I keep looking at this screen over here, because I got it back in technology world. You have to see what everyone's looking at there. So would it be okay if I show you some slides tonight for something you've never seen before? And that includes Dr. Kaplan too. Would that be okay? Shake your head if that's okay. Can I share my screen? Because I'm going to share something with you that happened the other night that I believe is a game changer for you tonight. Game changer. Now you might say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Is he hyping this? Is he exaggerating? Well, you can hold me to that. You can hold me to that because I'm going to show you something. Now I'm sitting there and I'm watching my favorite show. What's my favorite show Tuesday night? America's Got Talent. Do you love that show? I love that show. I love
that show.
So who's ever on, just unmute, you know, I'm going to try to mute all of you guys. If you can mute yourselves, that's great. So, and in 5 minutes, I wrote down something. And with your approval, can I share it with you tonight? Shake your head if that would be okay. Let me see some bobbing heads. Very cool.
Really,
Very,
get a little piece of tape to
very cool.
just
Oh,
keep
for
getting,
yeah, sure.
keep getting
You hear
caught on
background
everything.
noise? Am
Yeah.
I hearing background stuff? Do you hear background stuff? So let me see if this will work. First of all, that would be cool if I can do that. And I think I can. So let's try this. Can you see that? Can you see
Yes.
that? Can you see that? All right.
Yes.
Beautiful. I'm glad you could see it. So here's a funny thing. What if I told you I wrote this in 5 minutes? And the reason I wrote this is because this is actually an article that's going to be coming out. And because you're with us here on Thursday Night Live, I wanted you doctors to get a piece of this first. And it was this. In a million years, I never thought as a chiropractor I would actually even be writing this. And I did this in one straight thing. I didn't revise it. I just wrote it. But I'm so happy. I really am so happy I could share it with you guys first because I believe this basically summarizes why you're here right now. I believe this is the future because this is the present. The $20,000 chiropractic collection day. Now, let me repeat that. The $20,000 chiropractic collection day. Now, I've been a chiropractor for 35 years, and if you would have told me that what I'm about to share with you was even remotely possible, I would have absolutely said to you, wake me up, because I'm not just dreaming. This must be a fantasy. This cannot be real, but I promise you, this is real, and we'll prove it to you. So what I'm about to share with you is not a dream. It's quite the opposite. It's actually the reality for more chiropractors than you would ever imagine. You see, these chiropractors have tapped into what I will share with you here tonight. These chiropractors are consistently enjoying $20,000 collection days. Now let that sink in for a sec. $20,000 in the bank today. Now, what many have been considered above average for most chiropractors in a given month, right? That would be most right. You think about this for a sec. $20,000 in a given month. That's probably above average than most chiropractors, right? Now you say to yourself, well, gee, that's $240,000 a year, 50% overhead. They're walking away with $120,000 on a W-2 form. Heck, that's more than a joint, right? That's more than a lot of chiropractors, $120,000, not bad. But then again, there's a lot of chiropractors that are doing that in a week. Imagine they're collecting $20,000 in a week. You know chiropractors possibly that are collecting 20 G's in a week. Well, what is that? That's $1,040,000. Not a bad practice, right? How would you like to collect 1,014,000 at a 50% overhead? Let's say 60% overhead. Your W-2 form should say $400,000 on it. If it's not, something's not working. These specialized chiropractors, keyword, are collecting the same amount,
Everybody out there?
20K, in one day. One day. The crazy thing about it is that these chiropractors are not just doing it on one day. It's not just a great day. It's not just an appreciation day, one day a year. They're doing it multiple days in the month. Now, I know what you're thinking, which is probably the same thing I would have thought. How in the world are they doing this? Well, I'm happy to share with you how. What I will tell you is they're not doing it with insurance. Well, you would say, gee, 20K in a day, that's a lot of PI. No insurance, zero insurance. No MD integration. They don't have a nurse practitioner. There's no other people with other letters in their name. There's no PT. There's no MD. There's no DO. There's no nurse practitioner. There's no stem cell going on there either. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people do stem cell. I hope if you do
Somebody
it
help me.
and you do it right. But here's the best part. There's no dependency. There's no dependency. It's just simple.
Now,
Now, can you mute yourself? I don't know who's got that. I might have to run these. You hear that?
It's Doc 04. Whoever is
Doc
Doc
04. Can you mute yourself
04 is
now?
the person.
Let's see. Can you mute them? Let's see. Oh, I
Yeah,
think
Doc
you can mute
04.
them. Maybe Dr.
Good job, Jason.
It's
Oh,
not
that was driving
personal.
me crazy.
It's not
Yeah, I
personal.
actually put it down. It's Doc 04 is the person.
Doc 04. Let me see if I can find them because I want to be able
Is there a
to.
name, Jason?
It's the username of Doc
Yeah.
04.
You're welcome.
There we go. All right. So hopefully that works. But understand this. These specialized chiropractors are doing it. This is how they're doing it. They're doing it with non-surgical spinal decompression. See, Dr. Jason Kaplan is kind of like my guardian angel. Thank you, Dr. Jason Kaplan, for making this such a great TH Thursday Night Live for everybody. You're the greatest. These chiropractors are disc specific. They're disc centric. These chiropractors are closing cases that are prepay. And although their average case is $5,000, the fact is that many of them are much higher. I just spoke with a doctor a few days ago. He's on this right now. $8,400 a case, 90% close rate. He's awesome. You know who you are. Thanks for joining us tonight on the West Coast. Yes, many of them are even higher. So here's the funny thing. What's happening is this. What's happening basically is this. They're presenting and closing 4+ cases per day. Now, I was never great in math. I got a C in algebra. I really did. Calculus scared the poop out of me. It really did. The C word. It's the only C word that ever really, when you think about it, calculus, yeah. Trigonometry, I don't know. 4 cases, $5,000 per case. That's $20K collected in a day. You know who you are. You're on this with us tonight, and you're awesome. Yes, they have a system. Yes, they have protocols. Yes, they have marketing. And yes, they learned it from a source. They didn't try to pick a little bit here, pick a little bit there, do an a la carte thing, do the smorgasbord thing. Let me try this. If this doesn't work, I'll move on to that. They didn't have enough time left. In other words, they're saying, I have a shelf life as a chiropractor. I'm going to practice for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and then I'm going to retire. Now, you want to know something crazy? I just thought about this an hour before we started this tonight. Do you know that this year will be the 20th year that I've been completely retired from practice? Which tells you how old I am this year. I retired when I was 40. I've been retired more than I actually did this. There's a way to do that. We teach that and more. Tony Robbins said success is easy. Simply find somebody who's getting the results you want. Mirror, match, and model exactly what they do. In other words, find the people that are playing the game at the top level, the best of the best, and do exactly what they show you to do. Because if you do that, you'll collect $5,000 a day, $10,000 a day, $15,000 a day, $20,000 and more. Now, hold on a second. Wait a minute. That doesn't include neuropathy. That doesn't include knee cases. That doesn't include any other peripheral stuff you want to do. We're talking disc tonight. We're talking about non-surgical spinal decompression. So what if I told you there's a one-day training where we could show you exactly how these $20,000 chiropractors are doing it? Now you got my attention. Wait a minute. You willing to show us? If I'm sitting on the other end of this, you willing to show me examples of how they're marketing to get people, traffic, bodies, and new patients in the front door to be able to overcome an objection and to save that patient from an epidural, from an opioid, from a microdiscectomy, a laminectomy, a spinal fusion, a foraminotomy, metal in their back, screws in their back, metal cages in their back, a pain pump. You're willing to teach me? Wow, now you got my attention. This behind the scenes look is presented by you-know-who. It's by the Brain Trust, the carrier of the torch of the disc movement. The same 2 doctors, entrepreneurs, brand specialists, and disc specialist chiropractors that have a combined 75 years as chiropractors. 75 years. Holy cow. We've been chiropractors for that long. And together, we're so, and I want to say this in the most humble way I can, but there's no humble way to say this. There's no modest way to say this. We own, and when I say we as a group, together, our doctors own the largest amount of physical real estate and internet real estate under the largest brand of non-surgical spinal decompression centers in the entire world, known as Disc Centers of America. The brand is what wins. Once you put the brand out, the phone rings. Traffic, people, bodies. You start getting a better patient, a better quality patient. This is not for the average chiropractor. If you try to be everything to everybody, as they say, you'll often be nothing to nobody. Pick your battles. We decided to pick our battles, and we said we're going to swing for the fence. We're going to swing for the fence. We're going to play on the big stage. We're going to play on the big stadium. We're going to play in the big arenas. We're going to treat spinal discs, and we're going to save patients from a lot of bad stuff, and patients will find tremendous value in you because, trust me when I tell you, is it worth $5,000 to a patient to save them from metal in their back after that MRI, after that sequestered disc, after multiple disc herniations? 30% of Dr. Jason Kaplan and Dr. Stephanie Kaplan's practice are surgical cases. Look at that. Absolutely, surgical cases. He's not an average chiropractor, and neither are so many of you. You want to be average? I love when Dr. Kaplan says that. It's the best of the worst of the best, and I didn't get in this business to be the worst at anything. I got in this business to be the best at what I do. I was very fortunate to hang out with the best. We attract the best doctors in the country. We attract the most entrepreneurial doctors in the country. Fact, business people, but the best doctors in the country. These are doctors I would send my family to. I would send my family to the doctors that are Centers of America doctors that have the best research, the best clinical data, the best technology, the best comprehension, and the best drive and persistence to save me and or my family from bad stuff. One day, more content than you would believe, and to be able to apply this newfound knowledge back in your practice on Monday morning. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you know this. But seats are extremely limited, and it will be sold out. 100%, there will not be a seat left if it's not sold out by tonight, because guess what? You're being given first access to this. Your training is 100% satisfaction guaranteed. You will learn exactly how these doctors are having 20K days cash. It is a matter of knowledge. Grab your seat at www.thechiro.event, or you can call toll free. Now write this down now. Grab a piece of paper and write this down now. www.thechiro.event.com, or you can call Lacey. Lacey can't take your call tonight, but the fact is that, oh, I don't know if I told you this. Did I say this? I don't know if I told you this. I don't know. I didn't make a slide for this. If you're wondering if there's any stuff to sign, no. There's no contracts. There's no agreements. There's no pressure. There's no obligation. This is a day of learning. This is a day of content. This is a day of tools. And this is a day to be able to really make a difference and to play this game the right way as a chiropractor and to leave it on the field. You'll learn it from the best of the best. The date is this. The date is, let me see if I can do this right here. The date is, let me see if I can share this.
Yeah, it's Doc 04. Whoever's Doc 04 needs to mute their microphone.
Can you see that? Let me see if I can do that. Can you see that? Tell me if you can see that. www.thechiro.event.com. Go to the website now. You can do it. If there are seats left, grab your seat now. This is the last one of the year. If you think there's going to be another one, there isn't. This is it. Now, I will tell you this. What you do in the last quarter of this year will set the stage for 2022. If you wait till 2022, it's too late. It's already too late. The game already began. You're already in the third inning. But if you're able to grab a seat at the last one of the year, your life could change because your patient's life will change. It's that good. And you can go there, you could scroll down, you can watch some very cool videos, and you can see what's going
117
down.
over 73.
You go there yourself.
Heart rate I got at 86, and your pulse ox was 94, 95.
That, let me see here. Let me try that. Ooh, let me see if that works. Let me see that. Okay, we're good. Yeah, I got it. Thanks, Jay. It's all right. We're good. I mean, if not now, then when?
Hi.
So if you're waiting for the party to come to you,
Vitals real quick.
here's your
My name
chance.
is Debbie. I'm
Dr.
going to
K,
be your tech for the night. We
can
have
you-
that stuff.
share some love with why they need to be there. Can you hear me? Oh, there you are.
Yeah, it's
okay.
actually still this Doc 04. Whoever Doc 04 is, there might.
I can fix it. Watch this. I will fix it. Let's see. How about now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you perfect.
Don't let him back. Whoever 04 is, he's not welcome. Anyway, you know, Perry, I had a very good opportunity tonight. I had an opportunity to sit back.
I just took him out, by the way. He's gone. I threw him
Good.
out. No, I did. You go look, he's gone. I threw him out.
Good.
I never threw anyone
How's
out.
this?
But
How's
I
this?
feel like a bouncer almost.
Watch this. You son of a bitch. You're not welcome back in my family.
I didn't know you could do that. You can push a button and throw him out.
Hey, you're out.
Sorry,
Let me
maybe
tell you
next
something.
time, but you were too loud.
Wouldn't that be amazing? You know, when Perry, I sat here and I really enjoyed your whole dialogue, which is very unique and very, very different from ever before, because, you know, I think what it takes. Remember, my word tonight, everybody to remember, is what. You know, what it takes to be successful. It is really the ability to overcome and to accept rejection. Meaning, I'll give you an example. Why does somebody come into your office? Why do they fill out the paperwork? Why do they tell you about how their mother died, how their father died? See, when you get these initial forms, doctors, I mean, they're telling you their life. So hold on. Someone's going to come to your office, sit in your waiting room for half an hour, fill out forms, give you their insurance information, tell you, when they had venereal warts or whatever diseases, and their father died of heart disease, and they're writing the most private, the most exclusive things, and then they let you subject them to X-rays, and now afterwards they say, you know what? I'll think about it. Are they thinking about it, or are they thinking about you? Are they thinking about, do I have a problem, or are they thinking about, are you the right doctor? And you see, that's the essence of Thursday Night Live. My word is what? So what is the secret? Perry talks about $20,000 days. What is the secret? Well, I'm going to answer that for you. I'll give you every what with an answer. What is the secret? Doctors, the secret is that there is no secret. The secret is that you have to step up to the plate and be a better doctor. You have to step up to the plate and accept rejection. You have to step up to the plate and study the studies. I'll give you an example. Dr. Baber, Dr. Erdich from Johns Hopkins. Are those the only ones? No. What about Perry? Dr. Pergliolisi from Stanford University, okay? From Johns Hopkins, who also came in and showed the effects of decompression. And then there's Dr. Norman Shirley from Harvard. And then there's the Shirley Bergmeyer study. There's the Shirley Leroy study. There's the Shirley Wasserman study. Oh my God, Shirley has a lot of studies. And the bottom line is, we have to follow the medical paradigm. It's not just escaping what it is. And then you have medical people like Dr. Dyer from Washington State University. You have Dr. Rubel from New York University. And the medical doctors are now attacking the medical doctors. You see, chiropractors, we're not under attack. So what do? I'll tell you what you need to do. What? You need to be a better doctor. You need to study the research. You need to face the facts that the most expensive cases that you will ever have will be disc cases. I teach dramatically all the time. A subluxation becomes a bulge, which becomes a herniation. See, if you were in dentistry, you would know what that means. What is this all about? I mean, if they said, oh, doctor, you need a filling. Oh, what do you mean I need a filling? How much is that going to cost? No, they're saying, get me out of pain. And then he says, well, now, how many people here in this room have had fillings, and now all of a sudden you need a root canal? What? I need a root canal? What happened to my filling? Well, disease and degeneration are progressive and aggressive. And the Bogdock study showed that aging is part of the causes of degeneration and decay. Listen, doctors, let's face the facts here today. Tiger Woods had 5 back surgeries. 5. Is it because he couldn't afford the best doctors? And is it, now we know from, again, one of the Shirley studies, which is the Shirley Wasserman study, that after a year, there was still success rate. The McClure study showed a 92 success rate, and then of 500 pre-surgical cases, actually 478. And then after a year, he showed, okay, that the number only dropped from 92 to 86%. Now, it's so much more exciting because the facts are 6.5 million Americans are in bed daily due to back pain. So you know what? When you talk about marketing doctors, what do you want to market? what is the image of chiropractic? I want to leave you with stuff to think about tonight. You know, what do you want from me? If you want to be a better doctor, I can help you do that. If you want to know the research, I can help you do that. If you want to have more fun in your practice, I can help you do that. If you want to enjoy going to work every day, I can help you do that. And that's by being a better doctor, not by, you know, on the call, Perry, we have a doctor who I love. And I'm very tough on her. She'll tell you, if you could unmute her, she would talk, Dr. Kim Wong. And Kim out of Louisiana. And I want more coffee. Kim, this is not a free endorsement. You're going to have to bring me and vignettes. What did she bring us, Perry? Coffee and vignettes? But her and Kim Trainer, they study the science. They want to get their patients well. She's not just about the money. And I respect how doctors like that are so committed. And that's what we're here to do, doctors. Not to say, what's the new ad? What's the latest thing? Like I said, it's, you know, when I go on the internet, I see tables for sale. Many people don't even know about the FDA Good ID. The Good ID is very important when you're looking to buy a table, because after 2016, the FDA came out with the Good ID. Look it up. And it said that anything prior to 2016 was grandfathered in. But if you buy a used table after 2016, if it not meet the FDA Good ID, it's not clear. Now, what does that mean? Well, what if somebody came in and changed the motor? What if they changed the manufacturer? It's not what the FDA cleared. So, you know, and we talk about this. We teach our doctors to understand the ethics. What am I doing wrong? You have to ask yourself, not what you're doing wrong, but what are you doing right? And then what are you doing not right enough? So what is the secret? The secret is here, now, and today. The secret is to become a better doctor. The secret is study. The secret is get patients well. What do? You need to come to the event. You need to get your butt and get to the event and learn what to do. And then what do? You need to listen, because as Perry so favorably complimented me, which is the nice compliment he's ever given me, and he's given me lots, when he said that we created the disc movement. Because you know what? There is a disc movement. Why, doctors? Who should be better at disc injuries than us? Remember, do you know that MDs right and left are buying decompression tables? Orthopedic surgeons buying decompression tables. And you know what? That scares the crap out of me. Why? Because they can't help kinesiopathology. Meaning, as Norman Shealy told Perry and I, okay, if the sacral, and Norman Shealy's talking about how he adjusts the sacrum. A neurosurgeon adjusts the sacrum. We can't let them have our profession, because our profession will give it away between the joint, snap, crackle, and pop, and doctors. But you who don't know what I'm talking about, guess what? Chiropractic's coming to Walmart. Yeah, they're coming to Walmart near you. Walmart's opening up chiropractic centers. So you know what? Guess what, doctors? You want to be an insurance person? Have fun. You want to get into the game? What do? You pick up the phone and you come to the event. Eli, what do? You know what you need to do. Enough's enough. Perry, I'm raising this price. You know, you need to know, what business am I in? You're in the back spine decompression business. As I started this earlier, when I first went on my soliloquy, I said, when my son told me he wanted to be a chiropractor, I said, son, it's the greatest profession in the world, but it's a tough business. But you know what? I'm so proud of him and Stephanie. And she's not my daughter-in-law. I tell us all the time, she's my daughter-in-love, because what does the law have to do with love? I still haven't figured it out. What does daughter-in-law mean? She's my daughter-in-love. And they're probably the cutest and most adorable couple. But you know what, Jason, what I love, what he calls me, he says, Dad, I have this patient and I'm not getting the results that I want. And listen, he's treating right now, besides PGA professionals, he's treating the person who made the golf clubs for Jack Nicklaus. I mean, 30% of his practice is MD referrals. So what can I do to get patients to say yes? So what is the secret? I think I told you that tonight. What do? You need to get your ass down to Florida. What do I need? How's this? Want me to be egotistical? You need me. You need Perry. You need our stuff. We got stuff. You want stuff? We need stuff. Listen, look at Shane. I'm looking at Shane. Shane, shake your head from Miami. He flew from Wyoming to come to us. Shane, are you happy? Shake your head. See, thumbs up. And then I got a person like I said, Kim Wong, who's always talking to me about patients. How do I get them better? How do I get them well? What am I doing wrong? Ask yourself, not what you're doing wrong, ask yourself what I'm doing right. And I'm telling you, and then what do you need to do? You need to accept rejection. You need to overcome rejection. What business are you in? You're in the back business, and you're in the disc business, and you're in a great business, doctors, a great business. Let me tell you something. I have one son who went to medical school. I have one son who went to chiropractic school. My son who went to chiropractic school is making more money. I hope my son from medical school is not on the phone right now. He'd be pissed as hell at me. But my son who went to chiropractic school is making more money. Now he says, you know what? I should have been a chiropractor. But before it wasn't good enough for him. But you know what? Because Jason and Stephanie, they know what they need to do. Right, Stephanie? You know, you need to send me your statistics. You know what you need to do, Steph. I love you the most. What can I do to get patients to say yes? You need to be a better doctor. So if I leave you with anything tonight before Perry takes over and concludes, the question is what? What do you want? What do you want out of life? What do you want out of practice? And what are you willing to do? And if you're able to pay that price, I promise you, I'll tell you what I can do for you. I can take you to where you've dreamed of being. I'm Dr. Eric Kaplan saying, it was a pleasure being with you tonight. And if you all send Dr. Bard a very nice text, okay, he'll come again. And I just got a text, as I'm talking to Perry, Dr. Slawinski, right? Now, let me tell you about Dr. Slawinski. I love him and his wife, okay? Dr. Slawinski, he just sent me a text, Perry, can you see this? It says, awesome as ever. Can you see that?
Yeah.
I don't know if it comes out backwards. But the bottom line is, so let me tell you about him and Patricia. And then I'll shut up. Dr. Slawinski now has 6 tables. I think he's going on 7 tables. He has 6 matrices. He understands electroanalgesia, which could be a whole other webinar that we can do or a Zoom meeting. That write Perry a note and say, we want more Zooms. I'll do it first Thursday of every month, you know, if Perry wants, but Perry's in control. But Dr. Slawinski and Patricia developed this thing called, I call it the Disc Guide. And it's a visual presentation on how you can show the disc. And I'll tell you what I'll do for everybody here tonight. Perry, if they want, if this is up to you, if they want the Disc Guide, the video presentation, if they come to the event, we'll give them some, right? Yeah, we'll I mean, if you know, in Henderson, Nevada, he has 6 tables. I think he's going on 7. You know, Polinsky, buy your wife a goddamn house already. She wants a bigger house. I mean, the guy makes more money than God, for God's sakes. So, you know what? When I get clients that tell me this, and I get guys that are so dedicated. Now, here he is with 6 tables, and he's killing it in Nevada. And then you have Kim Wong killing it. You have Roger Wong killing it. I have Dr. Kern, who now just ordered his 4th table, who couldn't even afford. I mean, Roger Wong never even did decompression before. I have case after case after case. I can go through doctor after doctor. I mean, tonight we have so many clients here tonight, and I'm flattered. I'm flattered when Dr. Lito Petrucci, who gives me pizza lessons, for God's sake. Dr. Foster McCollum, who's a DCMD, not just a DCMD, and in Jacksonville, and has embraced this. You know, Dr. Shane in Minnesota, who's a junkie for research, who I spoke to today. Dr. Rex Raffler, one of the icons of our profession, that Rex can sit here and listen to me. Rex, I'm flattered. And I wore my shirt the other night. It was a big hit amongst my family. I got to let you know that. He gave me a DCOA shirt. I mean, it was a Tommy Bahama DCOA shirt. I mean, the love that we get is phenomenal. Scotty, Dr. Kern, you know, Roger. But here's what I'm telling you. Again, it goes down to what? What's the secret? The secret is be a better doctor. What's the secret? You need to present it properly. What do? You need to get your ass to Florida. What do I need? You need Perry and I. What am I doing wrong? It's not what you're doing wrong. It's what are you doing right? And what can I do to get patients to say yes? You need to be a doctor. I'm Dr. Eric Kaplan. Thank you for allowing me to go on tonight. But I'll tell you what, we're at a crossroads in our profession. The middle class has gone away. Chiropractors are either making it or not. Spoke to a doctor today from St. Louis, okay? He said, Dr. Kaplan, I only collected $100,000 last year. He says, the insurance companies have crippled me. I said, $100,000? You know, and I know, I mean, that I have clients that are collecting, you know, $18,000, $20,000 in a day, and he did $100,000 in a year. If you're insurance independent doctors, what are you doing wrong? Let me tell you something. It's not going to get better. Insurance will not get better. So it's time for you to make a decision. What business are you in? What are you going to do to make yourself better? And what can you do to improve? And I'm telling you, it begins right here, right now, today. I'm Dr. Kaplan saying thank you for being with me tonight.
So take out a pen. If you're sitting there, I want you guys to take out a pen because I want to show you a couple of things that I believe will resonate with you here tonight. And remember when we started, we said, you don't need 100 things. You don't need 10 things. You just need one thing. So I want to share my screen again. Would that be all right? Okay, I'll share my screen because I want to show you something a little different. So first things first, in order tonight. So let me see if I could share this. And let's see if we can do that. There we go. Can we do that? There we go. All right. www.thecheiroevent.com. The date is September 18th. This is the final training of the year. I promise you, if it's not sold out by tonight, it will be sold out very, very, very soon. If I'm you, grab a seat. And the fact is this, we'll share with you and show you example after example after example of what's working now, how to get the phone to ring, how to basically process that patient, where the exchange takes place, where that dynamic really exists, what the main concern is for the patient, how to get to $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, how you can have a 20K day and more. And you know what I love? You know, when we spoke about Dr. Kern, 4 tables. Dr. Kim Hong, who we were just talking about. Here's a cool dude, Brian Hesser. He only has a 30,000 square foot clinic. Not too many chiropractors have a 30,000 square foot clinic. This is we get the best of the best of the best. And that's a statement. I mean, that's a credit to you guys. The fact is that one of the real, you know, I could do a whole training on 2 people here tonight. Those 2 people, Dr. Jason and Dr. Stephanie Kaplan. Now, let's see. I don't know if you remember this. Let's see. Do you remember, Dr. Jason, when you once told me many years ago that you were going to practice in Colorado? Do you remember that? You were going to go get a table. You were going to open up. You're going to be in the land of the free, the home of the brave. I don't know why Colorado. I'm licensed in Colorado. Maybe it was because of the skiing. I don't know. The snowboarding. I don't know. Maybe it's a Red Rock Amphitheater. I don't know. And then you got a chance to watch something from the inside out, not the outside in. That's the game of non-surgical spinal decompression. You worked in 3 different practices before you actually opened up your multi-million-dollar practice. And the fact is this, you're doing so many things right. We could do a whole thing on him. What is he doing right? Well, let's talk about what works, why it works, how it works, and how you have the potential to piggyback off it tonight. If you notice, can you see where my cursor is? Now, can you see that? All right, because I'm looking at another screen here so I can see what you're looking at. Okay, so now watch this. Why is he winning? Why are they winning? The reason that they and hundreds, not like 5, 10, 20, hundreds of Disc Centers of America doctors are winning is because the brand has so much momentum, so much power. We're 14 pages deep into Google, meaning if you do a search for spinal disc, we go 14 pages deep into Disc Centers of America. There's no other chiropractor on the planet that can say that. Now you might say, wait a minute, why disc? Now think about this for a sec. When somebody's looking for a disc doctor, Are they always looking for a decompression doctor first? Think about that. Are they looking for an orthopedic surgeon? Are they looking for a neurosurgeon? Are they looking for a neurologist? But what if you're able to come up higher in the listings because of your brand, your power, your momentum, and the simple fact that we just have better tools. We have better videos, we have better ammunition, we have better materials because of the simple fact that he or she who has the best ammunition wins. Our ammunition allows the doctor to win the war. And if you don't think you're in a war, trust me when I tell you, you are in a war. And you're not in a war against other chiropractors. No, you're in a war in the simple fact that if you don't accept that patient, think about this for a second. If you don't accept that patient, you may be the last option for that patient. That patient is potentially wishing and hoping and praying that you accept them because they've been told they may need an epidural, a microdiscectomy, a laminectomy. This is the major leagues of chiropractic. But you know what I love the most about non-surgical spinal decompression? I love the fact that it's true to us as a chiropractor. Meaning, I don't know about you, but I went to a school, I graduated 34 years ago. I went to Life College. We learned about something called the motor unit. The motor unit was three things. If you remember, a little anatomy. Let's go back a little bit. The bone, the nerve, the disc. If you could stay in the bone, the nerve, the disc world, you are true to chiropractic. You are true to basically the primary reason why that patient needs you and is ready, willing, and able to write you a check and or whip out a credit card and to do that again and again and again and again. That's how you get to $20,000 collection days. Now, here's a funny thing. When you look at this site, check this out. Can you see that? Tell me if you can see that. What is that called? Oh, that's something called the free pain kit. Now, why do we have that on the site? The reason we have that on the site is very interesting. The reason we have it on the site is because there are, I'm going to use a big word. You ready? Sitting down for this? There may be some tire kickers out there. There may be some people that are looking for the next best drug. They may be looking for the next best Norflex, Soma, Tramadol, Percocet, Vicodin, Oxycodone, Oxycontin, you name it, they're looking for the next drug. So we're not in the drug business. But if we can use a free sample, could be a topical analgesic, could be some other nutritional products, and we can create a dynamic there to bridge to you and to be able to do it in an exchange where we're capturing name, address, phone number, email address. And now we're in the game. You see how this works? Now notice something here. Notice something here that if we go, big word tonight, above the fold. I don't know how many of you have ever even heard that term above the fold. What does above the fold mean? Above the fold means that when I come onto a website, I don't have to scroll. My hand doesn't have to touch the button. It doesn't have to do that. But if it does, it just keeps getting better and better and better. Better videos, better credibility, better certificates, better training, better acknowledgments. It just keeps getting better and better. But we know people are lazy. So above the fold simply means this. I can come here and with one click, I could start the process. I could start the exchange. I could start the dynamic of capturing information. I will tell you that the patients that fill out this form have a 90% close rate in your practice. And what happens is this. Once they call my office, the first thing I do is I direct them to the form. How cool is that? You know, these are the things we do at the Chiro event. At the Chiro event, we start picking this stuff apart. We start analyzing this. We start breaking it down. We start showing why people take action. We show how to capitalize on this. We show what you need to do now. We show what you need to do tomorrow. And we show what you need to do Monday morning to go back to your practice to change, add, enhance, modify the things that you do to be able to drive traffic and to be able to win the day by winning that patient. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, go like that. Heck yeah, it does make sense because we added so much stuff and oh my gosh, OMG. we got a surprise coming for you. Can you see this? Can you see that? I think my heart's beating a little bit faster because I'm so excited. We have a surprise coming for you, doctors, that will knock your socks off. And I'm jonesing right now to share with you so bad, but it's such a game changer, and it has to do with this. It actually has to do with the Disc Centers of America sites. It's freaky, it's crazy. I can't wait to show it. You're gonna love it. But I want to share something with you too that resonates with the $20,000 collection day. If I can do that, can I do that? I want to share something with you really quick, and that is this. Some of you know this, some of you don't know this. Been really, really blessed in so many ways. Number one, I don't know if a lot of you know this, but I was actually 34 years ago, I was actually Dr. Kaplan's associate doctor. Is that crazy, right? I was actually his associate doctor. And you know, my initial plan was I'm gonna hang out for 3 months. I'm gonna learn as much as I can. And you might say, gee, you know, why? That's a great question, why? Well, maybe it's because he was treating 200 patients a day like clockwork. Maybe it's because every single patient felt like they were educated and they were basically empowered, and they were knowledgeable, and they were enthusiastic, and they were excited about their next visit. And they knew what chiropractic was and is because he was educating them. He was living in PTC. I said, this is unreal. So I knew 3 months had to go into something longer. 3 months became 3 years. 3 years became 34 years. Here we are together. And the dream still keeps getting better. That's one of the great blessings. The other great blessing, obviously, is my wife. In the simple sense that, do you know, you're never going to believe this, but I actually met my wife there 34 years ago. You want to talk about a game changer? Holy cow, how in the world does that happen? See, one simple decision, one simple degree, one simple change is the difference between not having and having. Having a life that is good, okay, so, or is the life that you dreamed about your entire life as a chiropractor? Here's another blessing. We have 2 sons. One is in chiropractic school right now. Why? Because he sees what Dr. Jason Kaplan does. He sees what Dr. Stephanie Kaplan does. He sees packages every single day. He sees $18,000, $20,000, $22,000, $24,000 collection days. And he said, what is it? Is this like an ATM machine? Is the name of my practice ATM Chiropractic? Because that's what it's starting to feel like, that I basically have an ATM machine in my practice. Well, if you know what you're doing, the answer is yes. But here's the big takeaway tonight. The other son is in dental school. He's 2 semesters away from graduating. Now, what if I told you this? What if I told you that he is in a practice where they routinely present cases for $30,000, $50,000, $70,000, $90,000, and they get it. Now, this is higher level dentistry. This is not what we call drill, fill, and bill. This is not what my son told me, which is called bread and butter dentistry. This is not that. This is the upper level of dentistry. This is implants. This is restorative dentistry. This is basically the spinal decompression practice of dentistry. And in reality, that's what you are. You are the upper tier. You are the upper crust. You are the upper level. You are the doctors that are not doing it like the other chiropractors. So think about this. General chiropractic is general dentistry when you think about it. But the upper tier of chiropractic, the spinal disc doctors, the non-surgical spinal disc doctors, the Dr. Loors of the world in Illinois with 12 tables, Dr. Carrie Gerges in Westerville, Ohio, 11 tables, Dr. Daryl Swalinski, who's on this right here. I'm looking at you, brother, right now. 6 tables, I think 7. Dr. Graham Curd, 4 tables. I mean, we can go on and on. We have so many doctors that have 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12 tables. And they all started with 1 table. The worst thing in the world that could ever happen is this. If you ever heard Dr. Kaplan say these words, I think they're so eloquent and they're so spot on that the worst thing you can do is to collect $5,000 from a patient and have them wait 30 minutes to get on a table. That's called a capacity problem, and that's the greatest problem to have. That's when you know how you need a second table, a third table, a fourth table. You learn all of this. You learn all of this when you get the opportunity to do one simple thing. And that thing is this. Let's see if that works. There we go. It is this. www.thecairoevent.com. This is our last and potentially only chance to hang out together. This is the last potential opportunity that you have because there's no other dates on the calendar. There's no other dates in 2022. There's no other dates in 2021. This is it. Fingers crossed, I hope we can add more dates. I really do. But for as we speak right here, right now, this is it. September 18th. If you get an opportunity like that doctor who was talking about today, do you remember when Dr. Kaplan was talking about that doctor in St. Louis and the most he ever collected was $100,000? Well, guess what? He already has a seat at the thing because he already bought his seat because he called early this morning. He's like a lot of doctors already who already have seats. I'm hoping we get a chance to hang out together. It'll change your life because it'll change your patients' lives. It's that awesome. We get the best of the best doctors. The clock is ticking, whether you realize this or not. You're not going to be a chiropractor forever. There will come a day when you no longer are able to do, can you see that? Can you see that? There will come a day when that time comes. But guess what? That should be your decision, not the universe's. You need to take control of your universe by putting yourself in a position of growth, of knowledge, of content, of tools, and experiences. We're on this journey together because of life experiences. You've often heard that you didn't choose to become a chiropractor. This profession chose you. I truly believe that. I really do, because it's not easy to be a chiropractor. But I trust me when I tell you, it's so much easier to become a chiropractor if you're making $20,000 a day, falling back in love with what you do, getting up earlier than any other chiropractor, staying up later than any other chiropractor, because you are so passionate. You are so in love with what you do. You're delivering results on a level that is unmatched. 75 years in this business, Dr. Kaplan and myself. Who's got more energy than us? Not too many. Not too many. Think about it. Think about it. You know how old I am. I just shared it. He's a little older than me. Not a lot, though. Just a little bit. Who's got more energy in this business than us? I'd love to see it. The reason that you may say, well, where does that energy come from? It comes from patient results. It comes from watching you win. It comes from watching doctors get emotional. And I mean emotional. If you've ever been to any of our trainings, the big ones, and you see the doctors get up, and what happens? They get teary-eyed, they get emotional, they get choked up, they can't talk for one reason. These are tears of joy, happiness, gratitude, and exhilaration in the fact that they know that they are the chiropractor and the doctor that they dreamed about. They're the specialist. They're the authority. They're the celebrity. They're the doctor that they dreamed about being their whole life because they have so much respect in their community. So much respect. And there's a way to do that. We teach that at the Cairo event and more. September 18th. www.thecairoevent.com. Grab your seat before they are all gone. I promise you, they will be completely sold out. I cannot thank you enough for spending Thursday Night Live with us, first time in a year. And guess what? We're just getting started. We're just getting started. And you'll see, oh, and by the way, not only will we share that incredible disc tool with you at the Chiro Vet, but as a special bonus for hanging out with us tonight to the end. Crazy, just crazy. We're gonna show you two things. Now, the reality was, prior to about an hour ago, it was only gonna be one thing. Everybody always talks about the greatest ad. You know, what's the greatest ad? We're gonna show you the greatest ad. And we like stumbled on this thing. I can't tell you how effective, how powerful this thing is. But we're also gonna show you a second thing. We're gonna show you one thing for decompression, but it's a special bonus. We're gonna show you something that one of our doctors is doing that is getting the phone to ring off the hook in the world of neuropathy. If you treat patients with numbness, tingling, pins and needles, gait dysfunctions, balance disorders, temperature dysfunctions, well, guess what? Neuropathy is the cousin to spinal decompression. We're going to talk about neuropathy at the Chiro event. These are your, and by the way, in terms of case value, same case value, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. So you're not losing any money there. So, gee, is that less of a case? This is not about the money. This is not about the money. This is about patient results, but money always follows patient results. Money always follows satisfaction. Money always follows two things: under-promising and over-delivering. If you can under-promise your patients and wow them, and we'll teach you how to wow them, then I promise you, life gets really, really good, and it gets really good really, really fast. September 18th, 7 weeks away. It will be sold out. Go to www.thechirioevent.com. And for all of you that hung out with us tonight, you ain't seen nothing yet. We got so much ammunition to show you. We have so much in the pipeline. And maybe one day I'll be able to show you some slides that say not the $20,000 collection day. How about the $30,000 chiropractic collection day? Not too shabby, right? You deserve that. You deserve to be successful. We've been so fortunate, so lucky, so blessed to be able to share this content with you. On behalf of Dr. Eric Kaplan and myself, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I hope to see you September 18th. It'll change your life. I promise. Grab that seat now.